Shalom and welcome to this week's session on Torah and Agriculture with Jermaine. Our topic of discussion is Shabbat or Sabbath as it is known in English. Genesis chapter 2 verse 3 says, God blessed the seventh day and separated it as holy because on that day God rested from all his work which he had created, so that it itself could produce. And this is coming from the Complete Jewish Bible. So let's focus on 7, or the 7th day, or Yom Shabbat in Hebrew. So 7 is the numerical value or number value for the Hebrew letter Zayin. This Hebrew letter also has a meaning. Zayin means to cut off, right? Its pictorial representation is that of a sword, and a sword is a weapon. Weapons are used to protect, defend, and also to cut off. In agriculture, we use various means to protect, defend, and cut off all predators and thieves from our farms. So too is Shabbat a protection or weapon for us. How? What? Well, let me tell you. In the physical world or earth that we live in, Shabbat is the time of rest. It is also employed in agriculture, right? And why would we do that? So, a cutting off from work allows our animals as well as us farmers to rest. It also allows the land to rest. Both of us feel rejuvenated and re-energized after Shabbat. It gives us time to fill our energy tanks in preparation for the next 6 days. And in the case of the land, the rest of the land is called Shemitah. And this Shemitah happens on the 7th year. And what does it do? It allows for nutrient cycling. It allows for the land to get back its nutrients up to par. It allows the land the organic matter to increase and all of those wonderful things. So when you leave the land in fallow, as we call it, the land gets its chance to also become rejuvenated so that it can produce bountifully for the next 6 years. So when we rest in Hashem, we find peace, his shalom. We find solutions or answers to the complex problems that plague us. Hashem has made us the solution. Answers are inside on Shabbat. We allow God to pull the answers out of us and reveal to us the secrets of his Torah. How cool is that? And by using the Zayin or the sword to cut off also breaks the limit of the disease cycle in our plants, in our animals, and in our lives. So in the study of plant agriculture, right, there's something called the disease triangle. In fact, it consists of 3 factors that must come together to create a disease. Those 3 factors are 1, environment, 2, pathogen, and 3, host. Pathogen can be bacteria, fungi, viruses, nematodes, myoplasmas, spiroplasmas. They need to be present in order to set the stage for a disease outbreak. Host. Crop, cultivar that is susceptible. That is, a plant that can become infected by a pathogen and which will incubate the disease. When it's incubate the disease, it increases the inoculum in the environment, which also increases the risk of other plants in the area of getting the disease. And then there's environment. Environment considers things like airflow, air temperature, humidity, pH, nutrition, moisture, etc. And this is the most complex of the 3 outlined, but it can be manipulated to reduce disease. Simply put, removal of 1 or 2 of these factors will cut off the disease from forming and stop an infection. In Psalms chapter 91 verses 10 to 12 it says, no disease will come nigh your dwelling place. In Deuteronomy 7 verse 15 it says, the diseases that you see in Egypt you will see them no more. Why? because God dwelt with the most complex of the disease forming problem. He took the children of Israel out of Egypt and changed their environment. They entered into the wilderness or the desert for not only balance, to learn to hear the voice of Hashem, but to break the limit of disease on their lives. Pathogens thrive in moist, cool environments. The wilderness, on the contrary, is hot and dry, and so no pathogen that loves water and coolness will readily, and a ready supply of food will survive in this type of environment. So the wilderness was the Zion, it was the cutting off period for them. And so Shabbat is a weapon that can be used to protect you while you rest. Cut off from the environment to prevent diseases from multiplying or forming in your life. And all of your concerns take to Hashem while you Shabbat, while you rest, and see Him break the limitation of disease in your life. Shalom.